Okay, this is try number 3. I've had some technical difficulties with this video. I feel like I'm being messed with here. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, I just made this video. Is my dream about fallen angels related to 3 days of darkness? Okay. I was comparing it to this. I was comparing it to Linda Courtney's word, where here it is right here. She had gotten a word like 6 years ago, where she was told to write some words down about things happening. Well, you can watch that video. I believe it's the word I received, and I'll go to it on my channel here. I had received a word, several years ago, where I had heard that the fallen angels and Satan will come in some December. Okay, so given that, I was asking the question, is it tied to the 3 days of darkness, which Linda Courtney, and I put links and you can go watch her video. Are the fallen angels coming? My question was, are the fallen angels coming in some December? It could be this December. I didn't say a definite December. I said some December, but I was shown that they would come in some December. And what's interesting about this is the Lord also, a lot of times when we get words of knowledge and prophetic words and prophetic dreams and things like that, a lot of times we don't always understand what we receive. And I feel like God is, if at the time I received the word, I didn't really understand it, but I believe that God wanted me to connect the dots here, because on my channel, I'd also made another video, actually a couple other videos, possibly confirming this whole the fallen angels are coming in some December here theme. Let's just call it that. I made another video, and here's what it says. If you can see it, it's in the middle. It says, heard nightmare before Christmas. I was not shown which Christmas. Well, I heard that phrase. That was another phrase I heard, nightmare before Christmas. Now, what's interesting about that is the Lord put on my mind, I believe, and reminded me that, when the Luciferians and the occultists, they like to do things, rituals and whatnot, if you're familiar with that, on solstices. Now, back in, they do, in the summer solstice, and then in the spring solstice, they do rituals. Because apparently, according to them, and I hope I'm getting this right, the dimensions, the openings of dimensional openings, or portals, you could say, are thinner on the solstices. Now, so I was just trying to connect the dots, 2 and 2, because that's what we do when we get words from God and we don't understand it. It could be that, that would be a time that they would come in December because of the solstice, which is December 21st. And in this video here, if I can enlarge it, it was nightmare before Christmas. I heard that phrase. Well, if it's, something were to happen around the solstice, that would be before Christmas. And FYI, I don't believe in Christmas. I'm on the record of saying that. I made a video about that. It's a pagan holiday. We shouldn't, as true believers in Jesus Christ, we shouldn't be worshiping these pagan holidays. We should be celebrating the feast. That's what God said in the Word. I'm not going to argue with anybody about it, and I hope I don't offend people, but it is a pagan holiday, Christmas. That's where the ancient pagans worshipped Tammuz, the god Tammuz, and that's a pagan god. But that's a whole nother video. Okay, so getting back to this word, it says nightmare before Christmas. I heard nightmare before Christmas. Well, that would be, if it were something that happened on the solstice, that would be before Christmas, and that would be a nightmare. And Linda Courtney was talking about in her video that she said these fallen angels or demons were going to be running around during that 3 days of darkness. Now, I'm not a person who really paid much attention to the 3 days of darkness. However, there is this historical precedence for the 3 days of darkness, because apparently it has to do with some sort of planetary body. People call it Nibiru, the Destroyer, Planet X, the Black Sun, the Black Hole Sun. That, they've made songs about it. It is going to pass by and cause 3 days of darkness on the earth. Now, you can watch her video and she'll go more into the 3 days of darkness aspect. But I had never really thought about it, but then I'm like thinking, maybe, there's a connection here, because these fallen angels coming, well, I'd heard in my dream, they come some December. And then I heard Nightmare Before Christmas. And then I made another video because I had also heard, and it's this video up here, dream when the blackouts occur, that's when the aliens come. Now I want to just play a little bit of that. And I don't have, well, let me just play that and you can follow along. Okay, I'm making this video kind of on the fly, but I had just made this video yesterday. Are they building a scenario? Oh, and FYI, I accidentally deleted that video for some reason. But I was making a video about the California fires, where some people were seeing UFOs. And then I also was relating it to back in, I think it was January. People were seeing those drones in New Jersey and all over the world. And that's what I was talking about. That aliens, I'll just go to it, are involved, if it'll let me, are involved in... Before I get into this video, I want to say, let me shut me off. Are they building a scenario that aliens are involved in the California fires? And I had just made that yesterday. And because, well, you can go watch that video. I'm not going to explain that video, but I made that video yesterday. And then last night, I had a dream. And I was dreaming. Now, I don't know if it was because my mind was on this whole alien thing, but I had a dream where I was shown that when the blackouts happen, that's when the aliens come. So that was kind of interesting. And then in the dream, my mind immediately went to thought of the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and they had these. I'll just play a little clip from that because I found it kind of interesting. Of course, I'll turn this commercial off, but I found it kind of interesting that in the Close Encounters film, they were showing these drones, and I was speaking about that in my previous video. Are they building a scenario that aliens are involved in the California fires? But I'll just play a little clip because this is what I was thinking about in my dream, which is kind of strange. But anyway, I'll play this. Now, I'm going to stop it here, but if you notice, that looks like those drones we were seeing in New Jersey, and then, of course, all over. Okay, I'm going to stop there, but that basically was the gist of that video. My dream was kind of like, that's the phrase I heard, when the blackouts occur, that's when the aliens arrive. So my question is it some December that this is going to happen when they actually show up? They're going to do the whole big alien agenda thing. This will remain to be seen, but I'm just kind of connecting the dots here in this video, and we shall see. But, something, believers who believe in Jesus Christ, pray about it. Pray, pray, pray. Always ask the Lord for confirmation. I'm just seeing a connection here between all these videos I made, and then hearing the phrase nightmare before Christmas. So, just something to think about, pray about. Get ready. I don't think it's going to be September, like I said. Everybody's talking about September 23rd. I don't think it's going to be. I think that's going to be a psyop. But anyway, with that said, I'm going to end here, and thanks for listening.